Welcome back to the classic hardcore monk challenge, where I'm trying to survive as a self-found paladin that can never equip a weapon, shoes, or boots, and that can only wear cloth and leather, all while attempting to reach enlightenment through the completion of one monk-related roleplay event in every zone in the game. Last time, we began our journey by defending our monastery from the vicious kobolds and Defias, completed a pretty large chunk of the Elwynn forest quests, took a trip to Dunmoreau for a bit of extra questing, as well as a quick polar plunge, and then finished up with a brief detour to Loch Modan to meditate and reflect along the beautiful Stone-Rot Dam. But before we get into today's episode, let's do a recap of our gear, which shouldn't actually take too long, since we really only have 5 pieces, and all of them are either white or gray. Starting with our legs, we have a pair of patched pants with 46 armor, an outfitter belt with 19, some burnt leather bracers with 20, a layered tunic with 33, and finally, while it's technically hidden from view because I don't really like the look of it, we also have a worn hide cloak with 9 armor, totaling up to 127. But with that, let's get back to the journey. After running a few more errands between Ironforge and Loch Modan, and with the tranquil moment of meditating at the dam still fresh in our memory, I was inspired to further my knowledge of the dwarves of Ironforge by visiting the famous Hall of Explorers. And while I would like to point out that their ceiling map is technically upside down, at least from the perspective of someone entering the building, I will say that I was quite impressed by the dwarves' passion for history, with some of my favorite exhibits being their artifacts from Uldaman to showcase their unique Titan heritage, the remnants of an orcish catapult from the Second War to remind themselves of their past trials, as well as this highborn astrolabe from the ruins of Suramar, which is totally destroyed and underwater and will definitely never come back as some kind of major questing hub in another war against the Burning Legion. With that questing hub culminating in a raid where we bring back the elder consort of Alexstrasza before ancient times. After the Titans departed Azeroth, as the High Elves fought for their lives against the trolls, ultimately, Sylvanas and her rebels dead, known as the Forsaken. That was fun. After filling our head with knowledge and completing our 3rd enlightenment goal so far, we then made our way back to Elwynn Forest for a bit of unfinished business. As we passed through the town of Goldshire though, we were then stopped by a young warrior seeking to test her skills in combat. We then proceeded to absolutely beat the brakes off this Dodge minivan, which, for some reason, earned me the respect of this rather overzealous dwarf paladin, who just so happened to be traveling in the same direction. And while I didn't quite agree with his overly bold demeanor, I did, nonetheless, appreciate his devotion to the light, as well as his wish for my safety.
I need to go that way, but I don't want to walk the same way. I already said bye. Maybe I'll just, hide, see what he's doing. Okay, it looks like they're fighting Princess. Over here hiding behind a stump.
But after the conclusion of our awkward encounter, we then moved in to defeat Princess ourselves, and prepared for our fight by drinking as many potions as After taking down Princess without someone stealing the pole, we then head back to the turn-in.
Can't wear any of this.
Just our can't group macro to be a bit more monk-like, and then move on to the knoll camps by the forest's edge, where we then hit level 13 before finally coming face to face with none other than Hogger.
Holy crap, I just beat Augur. Okay, I was not expecting to actually win that fight. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I guess that's the power of the monk. New chess piece, finally.
But, with Elwynn pretty much complete, that just left us with our enlightenment goal, which just so happened to align with our class quest for this bracket. That being to visit Heroes' Vigil and weed out the presence of the Defias Brotherhood, to stop them from desecrating the Stone of Remembrance, the monument dedicated to all those who've lost their lives in protection of the great city of Stormwind. with another goal complete, and now that we were at a more comfortable level, it was now finally time to venture into Westfall.
Why does it keep giving me mail and swords and stuff? And a shield. Dude, it's all weapons. Why? Ooh. New cloak. Oh. Oh my gosh. Ooh, well, it's the same amount of armor, but it's just spirit, which I don't really need. I guess it goes to the vendor. I was totally gonna die. I guess he did potion, but that's still crazy how close that was. Dude, I keep getting glancing blows. I used my special monk precision to perfectly align the atoms to just clip my hand through the wall. That's what happened there. Oh my gosh. Whew. I'm starting to see why paladins have one of the highest survival rates in hardcore. You know, that makes sense. Ooh.
Improved seal of righteousness.
Taking a break from Westfall, we then head back to Stormwind for a quick turn-in and for some training, test our parkour skills.
Wait. I don't think I've ever done this in my entire life. That's probably so much faster than swimming. Why?
And then make our way over to Red Ridge Mountains to run a few more errands. And after backtracking several times between Red Ridge, Stormwind, and Westfall for the Red Ridge Messenger and Defias Brotherhood questlines, we then decided to finally make our way back to Loch Modan, and started assisting the dwarves by collecting some much-needed cooking ingredients from the local fauna, and then by helping to reclaim the Silver Stream mine. And it was there that I hit level 16 while killing kobolds alongside this very friendly mage, who also just so happened to save me from an unintentional double pull near the back of the cave.
Ooh, new belt. Very nice. Okay, if a bear can parry without a weapon, why can't I parry without a weapon? Is this like the claws? Do I need claws to do that? That's a perfect robe. Oh, come on. 4 stamina rather than 2? That's like 20 extra health. Let's take it, and then let's look at some stats here. We have 415 armor. Damage reduction 19.1, and then the other thing is we have a 5.3 crit chance. With the robe, we have a 17.6, and then our crit chance, okay, crit chance does not get affected by that much. We don't care about the 1 agility that we lose. But like 2% armor reduction? How much damage are these things doing? 17 to 20? And that was with a 19% damage reduction. If my math or Googled math is correct because I'm not good at math. The difference wouldn't be that huge at this low of a damage, like, bracket. So we might take, like, maybe 1 more damage per hit. But this also just makes us look so much more like a monk. So I'm gonna go with the robe. Here's me and all. Chest. No! Don't, stop. Don't get any credit when you do that. New bracers! Why are all my green drops weapons? Hey, we have a gold! Wait, I don't think I'm supposed to get excited over money. Can I kill 2 mobs? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the gouge. That is so much longer than I thought it was. I'm supposed to step away for a second when I do that. But yeah, I think we're fine. Not worth it. Maybe we just kite the melee guy away. Do I have enough room for that? Oh, right. Well, actually, it seems to still be working. I don't want to join your guild, but I also don't feel like turning off guild invites. More garbage. Okay, I don't want to fight any more doubles unless I, like, have to. Another green weapon. What is this? Oh my gosh. Oh.
What's on your mind? Up with it.
I don't think we need this for anything. I think we're just gonna grab Retribution Aura.
See you soon.
Okay, how much damage reduction do we lose without Diva Aura? We're at 17.2. And a whole 7%. We'll try it, we'll try it.
By the way, do you know what time it is? I think it's time for...
Okay, this is where I have to lock in, because I know there's orcs here somewhere. We take it very slowly. Okay. Oh, they're only 19? Sometimes there's one over here. And then sometimes there's one over here. I think someone must have killed them recently. So I think we are good. Yeah, there's another one right there. Okay. We are safe. Unless there's the one that's out here. Okay, he is right there. We take the skip. And just go right past them. I'm gonna zoom all the way out here. Just give myself lots of vision, I guess. The ooze are orange and these are red, so I like to go a little... I prefer to get a little closer to these than the spiders. But those crocolisks are also red, so... Oh gosh. Just let it reset. I think we have enough health to tank it. Yep, we're fine. Okay. Very nice to know. Okay, these are very dangerous. I don't know if I can survive one of those. These are 22. I can survive a crocolisk. I can survive probably 1 crocolisk. But the orcs, I don't know. Because these net and are skulls. So, okay, this is probably 27. Because this one I can't see. This is 26. Oh, that is a crocolisk. Do not want to pull him. Ooh, and this guy's dead. So we can get closer to this side. We might have to wait for him to go back. Okay. Oh, but now he wants to come this way. I think right now is my best chance, and then I try and thread the needle. Oh yeah, we're totally fine. And with that, we have successfully completed the wetlands run. Wait, I can't equip anything in here. Let's try Retribution Aura. That's actually very nice. I mean, these guys are gray, so I'm not gonna take a ton of damage from them. And stop taking all the crabs. Why are there 3 of you? Man, what is my luck? What the? Oh my gosh. Scared the crap out of me. I thought the shadow on like the front of the thing, I thought it was a giant thresher. And I'm like, that doesn't even exist. What is happening? Ooh. All we need are green bracers, and then everything will be green. Where's the earth root? I think it's stuck in the mountain. Oh, yeah, it is. This is earth root right here. Are you serious?
Level 18?
New bracers. Only 1 more armor, but still an upgrade. Less armor, but 2 strength, 1 agility? Gladly take that. 300? I don't even have 300 armor. Wearable green, but it's not better than what we're already wearing, so, you know, kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit. And right back to more green weapons.
Can I assist you? Be careful.
Here's the thing. This is not a weapon.
And speaking of weapons, let's go on a little side tangent for just a moment in an attempt to clarify our first edict. In episode 1, I explained that the first edict we have to follow is that I can never use any weapon other than my fists through my unarmed attacks, as well as manifestations of the light through my paladin abilities. However, a handful of you asked whether or not I'd be willing to allow staves or fist weapons, since while they are weapons, they do happen to be very monk-coded. And while I would certainly agree with that assessment, I'm still gonna have to say no for 2 reasons. First, because the main point of the challenge revolves around the difficulty added when trying to progress while never being allowed to put anything in the weapon slot, regardless of whether or not that weapon fits the monk roleplay, but, more importantly,
Paladins can't use staves.
or fist weapons. Offhands, on the other hand, or offhands on the offhand, I guess? Do I still get a laugh track for that? There we go. Anyways, offhands are in a much trickier place, because while I fully refuse to equip any kind of shield item, because I really don't want to give myself the ability to block, I'm a little bit undecided when it comes to my stance on the regular offhand items. You know, the ones that are kind of just stat sticks. Because as I said with the Tear of Grief, I wouldn't really consider these to be weapons, but at the same time, they do need to be equipped in one of the 2 weapon slots, which still just feels a little bit wrong to me for some reason. Now just to be clear, I'm not actually going to be using this specific offhand, since I don't really feel like carrying around a random vial fits the whole monk RP, but on the topic of future offhands, since this is a bit of a gray area that I failed to account for at the start, I think I'm gonna pass the decision over to you guys. So here's the 2 options I'm willing to accept. Either I completely ignore all offhands and never equip any items in the main hand or offhand slots, or I keep my main hand completely locked just as before, but leave the offhand slot available exclusively for the regular stat stick offhands. And then I'll just do my best to only use the ones that I think fit the overall monk theme. So let me know in the comments which of these 2 options you think would be more fun to watch, and then I'll tally up the votes and let you know the verdict in the next episode. But with that out of the way, let's get back into the challenge. After slaying the Tear of Grief, we then head back north to kill some bears, grab a water sample from the waterfall along the Cliffspring River, deal with some Darkstrand fanatics for the first part of the Tower of Althalax chain.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? And another green weapon. What is going on?
And then head over to everyone's favorite mushroom cave, where we just so happen to pick up another offhand that I also don't really want to use since it's for fire damage.
Are you serious? Like, actually? You're just gonna... Okay. That's how it's gonna be. I got the death cap.
And while in hindsight, I'm not exactly proud that I stooped down to the mage's level, I am glad that I had enough patience to inform him that another death cap had spawned in the same spot, saving him from the frustrating task of clearing the groups that guard the ones in the back of the cave.
Is this an upgrade? This is an upgrade. Mushrooms complete. Every time I do that quest, it just really makes me miss logout skiffs.
What brings you here?
I kind of want the agility. Like, I know it's not that much crit versus 20 entire health. I don't know, I like agility. Damage number, cool.
But with a dire need of respite from the more intense aspects of my journey, I felt that it was finally time to take a relaxing tour across the jaw-dropping world tree of Teldrassil and the great city of Darnassus. And while at first I was entirely captivated by the Night Elf's strong connection to nature, in reality, it was the Temple of the Moon that truly grabbed my full, undivided attention. And while I can't exactly say I understand the Night Elves' obsession with the force they call elwynn, I did find it incredibly inspiring that despite the differences in our beliefs, they too greatly revere the power of the light, with this elwynn figure being quite prominent across Kaldorei culture as a whole, even to those like the Druids, with more of an affinity towards nature magic. But in addition to this, I was quite surprised to learn that their sacred fonts of power, the moonwells they call them, actually rely on a complex combination of magical sources, including not just the light of elwynn, but also the powers of both nature and, most surprisingly, the arcane, with one of the original sources of these waters being the controversial Well of Eternity, which, sparing the historical details for the sake of time, ultimately led to the first invasion of the Burning Legion, as well as the sundering of Kalimdor once it was destroyed. And while yes, another, more responsibly managed Well of Eternity would eventually be created atop Mount Hyjal, the Kaldorei would never truly forget the drastic sacrifices they'd been forced to make as a result of their unchecked reliance on such a powerful source of the arcane, which ultimately led them to completely prohibit all study of the arcane and the subsequent exile of the Highborn who refused to comply with this new policy. So to learn that the Moonwells were so heavily revered among the Night Elves, despite their partially arcane origins, it was, admittedly, a bit off-putting at first. But as I took the time to make a pilgrimage to visit all the other Moonwells across Teldrassil and contemplate them even further, I started to consider that perhaps it was not the arcane itself that the Night Elves despised, but perhaps it was the unhealthy lack of moderation in regards to its usage. And believing themselves incapable of resisting the allure of its power, they just chose to entirely stop the practice of it, choosing to limit their exposure to it solely through the use of their sacred moonwells. And while technically this is all just speculation that glosses over the fact that the decision of a society can never truly account for all the beliefs and opinions of every individual behind that decision and those that it affects, at least from an overarching perspective based on the historical accounts that we do know, that the decisions the Night Elves have made for the benefit of their people were made for the benefit of their people, particularly in regards to protecting their people from the incredible threat of the Burning Legion. Of course, there is always some room for debate surrounding ethical concerns, potential hypocrisy, depending on how you look at it, as well as the overall disconcerting presence given off by the abrasive and mysterious Archdruid Staghelm. But at the end of the day, with all things considered, I am still quite impressed by the Night Elf desire to pursue balance within their day-to-day lives, despite their very complicated history. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more Weird WoW content, and let me know how you think I should tackle the whole "do I allow offhands" situation. One last thing though, I just wanted to say really quickly that we are getting very close to hitting 10k, and whenever that happens, I think it would be really cool to do a little Q&A celebration video. So if you have any questions you'd like me to answer for that, feel free to also leave those in the comments down below, or on the recent community post, or in the Discord, which I'm kind of now realizing that I've never officially plugged before. So I suppose here's the official plug. Now it is a little dead at the moment, but feel free to check that out if you're interested. And if you want to potentially have your question featured in the celebration video, feel free to leave a message in the Ask Rel question channel. But since that's pretty much everything I have for you, thanks.